Guys, welcome along to our brand new Tottenham Hotspur podcast, When the Cockerel Crows. We're going out live this evening on YouTube and Facebook, so don't forget to like and subscribe. This is the YouTube channel that covers Spurs news, match reviews, previews, and we are interviewing former players and staff who are the unsung heroes behind the scenes at our famous football club. That's right, Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. And we are starting today with a man who spent 29 years at our football club. Okay, welcome to When the Cockerel Crows. Today we go behind the scenes of football and speak with someone who has been at the heart of Tottenham Hotspur Football Club for almost 3 decades, spending a whopping 29 years inside one of the biggest clubs in English football. He's worked with legends, he's seen eras come and go, and knows the dressing room better than almost anyone alive, working under no less than 17 different managers at Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. I'm delighted to give a warm welcome to former Tottenham Hotspur kit manager Roy Reyland. Roy, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
How are you doing? All right?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good. You retired now, and how's it how are you keeping?
Yeah, I retired 15 months ago because obviously I left Tottenham to go to Saracens Rugby. But I still do 3 mornings a week at the training ground. But I actually work for the training ground, not for Saracens. So it's more just to get me out of the house, and I'm still in and around the lads, you know. That was the most difficult thing, was not having day-to-day banter and relationship with the players.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, being involved with Tottenham for so long, and then obviously moving on to Saracens, is that like a big part of your life? Is it like being amongst the lads and that banter and that just kind of day-to-day involvement?
Massive. Like it's hard to explain. I've done 45 years roughly, and it had got to a stage where the travelling and the stress, I guess, to a certain degree, I'd had enough. But when I did retire, I didn't realise just how much, because when I went from Tottenham to Saracens, you're in and amongst professional players every day. The banter is quite heavy and quite strong and quite intimidating at times, but it's good fun, and you kind of look forward to that every single day when they come in your kit room and have a chat with you. You know, it's quite special. So to lose that was quite difficult. Yeah,
absolutely. Do you is there much of an adjustment for that then? Does it take? Do you have to kind of get used to professional sportsmen's kind of sense of humour and the way they do things?
Yeah, I mean, when I was at Tottenham, obviously I worked under Johnny Wallace for a number of years. He was a really, really hard taskmaster, but he made me what I am today, because he taught me the ropes, and I don't think really people don't really understand what the job can. So to learn that off of someone like Johnny, who was a legend at the club anyway. Because there as a player and with the old-fashioned sponge man and a trainer and then kit man, so he'd done it all.
Yeah. So where were you a Tottenham fan growing up?
Oh, massively. I was born in Chalgrove Road, which is for some people that know it, it's right near Northumberland Park Station.
Okay.
So that I could see the floodlights from my house. And I actually I played for Tottenham boys, so we used to play at the ground, and so when I was a schoolboy, a really young schoolboy, and it was a gentleman called Dickie Moss, who some people will remember was a goalkeeping coach, and he was my school teacher and Tottenham boys coach. So I'm a Tottenham lad through and through.
Yeah. What position did you play, Roy?
I was a left winger. Well, I'm naturally left-footed, so I started off.
There's 2 of us,
So I ended up at left wing, then left side midfield, and then left back. So
that's much of a career as a player, or?
Sorry?
Were you always kind of like a frustrated player? Were you?
Yeah,
What kind of happened?
never made it as a pro. Played to
No.
a decent level, but then when the job kicked in at 22,
Yeah.
I couldn't. Even if I'd have been good enough, I couldn't have progressed because it was too much responsibility. You know, Adams was obviously played on a Saturday, and I played on a Saturday, so I was never going to be good enough to make it. So I had to make the decision to go the other side.
So it was 22 when you started working for Tottenham. Then what was your role when you first walked through the doors?
So I started on the ground staff originally.
Okay.
I done 3 years on the ground staff.
Yeah.
Then Keith Birkinshaw, the workload was getting quite heavy for Johnny.
Yeah.
And Keith asked me if I'd be interested in working a few days a week to help Johnny out in the mornings.
Okay.
And that progressed to 3-4 days, and then eventually after I think I was about 24, I went full time as assistant kit man.
Oh, right. Okay. So what was the what did the kit room look like back then compared to obviously now? How different was it?
So I don't know if you know much about Johnny Wallace. I mean, if you speak to the likes of Stevie Perryman and Paul Miller, and you know that era, Johnny was a real hard taskmaster.
Yeah.
You know, so to get into the inner sanctum, because it was him and Cecil Poynton. I'm throwing a few names at you that might even be before your time.
Yeah, but before my time, I've heard of these people. Yeah, but a Cecil Poynton.
So it was quite basic, to be honest. But we had laundry ladies at the time. We had a lady called Sylvie Webb.
Sylvie lives in Cornwall. I was going to bring her up actually. She she's down here in Cornwall with us.
And her son Colin.
That's it.
So Sylvie was my laundry lady, or our laundry lady, and then when I took over in '87, the first team, and so Sylvie was still there, and I still speak to Sylvie to this day.
Oh, you do? Brilliant. So
she was a special lady, and she still is.
Yeah. We met Sylvie. I met her a few years ago. Anyway, we're down in Cornwall, and Steve Perriman came down a couple of weeks ago. And Sylvie and Colin came along to that, which was good to catch up. And we bought Mickey Hazard and Graham Roberts came down a couple of years ago, and they both recognised Sylvie straight away. So
everybody knows Sylvie.
Brilliant. So what was your kind of day-to-day involvement then? So what would your role be when you first kind of took over?
So when I first took over in '87.
Yeah.
So we was so when I was assistant kit man, we was based at White Hart Lane.
Yeah.
And we was training at Chesney.
Okay.
So that was a bit of a task that the boys used to come in, like the apprentices used to come in the morning for 8:30. They'd go around and have breakfast round a cafe, like Tony's Cafe just round the corner.
Yeah.
And then we'd jump on the minibus and put all the kit in baskets on the top of the minibus, and off we go to Chesney.
Yeah.
And it just seemed a long drawn out day where we would drive to Chesney, drop the kit off, make sure everything was right, ready for training, and then Johnny and I would jump in a van, go back, and then prepare the next day's training kit or get prepared for matches that were coming up. So that never really changed much until we actually got our own proper training ground. The first real training ground we had was at Luxborough Lane in Chigwell.
Okay. Yeah.
And then we had our own laundry and our own kit room. It was, it made life a lot easier, you know.
Yeah. What was that like when you got told you were having your own facilities, if you like?
It was really good, to be honest. It was a building just at the back of the changing room, so it was quite nice. We had a huge laundry, huge. There was Sylvie and two other ladies that used to work in there.
Yeah.
And then what I called my kit room and my prep room was off of that, so it was all close. And then we just wheeled the kit into the main dressing rooms, which was like a matter of yards, you know. So it was good. It made life a lot easier.
Yeah, I bet. So you're responsible for the kit. So we use the term kit quite broadly. So what kind of kit? Obviously the match day kit, but would this include training kit in that back then? The
boys would have 3 sets of training kit.
Yeah.
So that's like one in the wash, one to wear, and one for the next day.
All right. Okay.
But then obviously occasionally they'd do afternoon sessions, and then that's when it'd start getting a bit involved. because then you'd have the laundry girls washing, because it wasn't only the first team kit they washed. They washed the first team, the reserves, the 21s, and down to the kids, you know, right down to the babies, like, you know. So it was a big old concern, and there's no way we could have functioned without the girls. It would have been an impossibility.
No. So what kit were you responsible for? Was it specifically first team to start with, or was it?
No.
It was it.
So when, like, myself and Johnny was there, when we done the role reversal in '87, I would look after the first team, and Johnny would primarily look after the reserves. But it wasn't really like that, to be honest. We sort of mixed and matched, you know, whatever necessitates, we used to do together.
Yeah.
And then when Johnny then stopped being kit manager and went down to back onto the ground stuff, sort of done full circle, if you like.
Yeah.
And we had someone come in called Alec Nean. He used to be a physio for the youth team, and he came in as assistant. So
yeah,
it's definitely well. I mean, I look at it now. I think they've got about 7 or 8 kit men, but at the time, there was 2 of us.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was quite intense. I mean, it was a long day. You know, you'd get there at sort of 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Because you could get more done between 6:30 and 9 when the lads come in. Because once they was in, it was, you know, footballers are like this. They want everything, don't they? So and then you'd have to go and see the managers and see the gaffer and see the coaches and see what they required out on the training field.
Okay.
So because that was all down to us as well, prepping.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh, would it really? What happened in the training field?
Yeah.
What, like cones and markers and things like that?
Bibs, cones.
Really? Oh wow.
Whatever necessitated. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they used to get the well, it wasn't an academy then; it was apprentices. They would get the apprentices to get involved in that as well, but primarily it was us that would take out whatever they required.
Yeah. So numbers wise, then you said that there was 2 of you, and now there's kind of like 7 or 8 kind of kit men or you know, kit staff. How much of a workload does that change then? So between 2 of you, are you would you have been catering for the same number of players and kit?
I'm not sure what they've got now. I mean, I think they've got a lot more now, and they also, I think those kit guys are obviously involved with all the way down to sort of the other 10s.
Yeah.
And I think they're also involved with the ladies team.
Okay.
So, you know, there's quite a lot of involvement. Whereas when I was there and there was just the 2 of us, I think we had.
Oh, just seem to have lost Roy there briefly. Yeah, okay. Sorry, Roy, we had a bit of a technical issue there, but yeah, back again. You were just talking about the kind of volume of work and compared to what the guys have now.
Yeah, well, I think we had about sort of, I think we had something like 30 pros and probably I think 10 to 12 academy boys or apprentices then.
Yeah.
But now it's obviously it's a lot more, and there's a lot more involvement. So a lot more players and a lot more teams and squads, if you like. They all got, you know, they're probably counting for, I don't know, 100 odd people. I would guess.
It's a lot, isn't it?
Well, you say that, but having said that, the Saracens with I had 70 players.
Did you really?
Yeah, and it was just 2 of us doing that as well.
2 of you as well.
Yeah.
Oh wow. So over the years, you've worked alongside players like Ardiles, Hoddle, Gaza, Clinton, Ginola. You know, some of the absolute legends of the football club. How much involvement do you have with the players? You mean on the kind of like a day-to-day basis? Do you have some that are kind of like needy and have their superstitions and their little quirks? Or
I mean, you always get players that are superstitious. You know, like Gary Mabbott used to turn his shin pads round 4, 5, 6 times before he put them in his sock.
You really?
Yeah, wow. You know, and you know, Ray Clements. I mean, go back to Clem, bless his soul. But Clem used to meet at 1:25 in the dressing room. Coming about 1, and he would just put like a sloggy slip underneath the shorts. He'd wear that, strap his ankles, and he'd be stretching for like 45, 50 minutes.
Really?
Yeah, it's just that it's how people are, you know. And the famous one is when we was playing at home and Gaza come in and said to me, Roy, he said, these shorts, they're not right, you know. And he was a bag of nerves before a game anyway. So in the old West Stand, my kit rooms was literally off the first team dressing room. It was just a door, and you walked in. And so I took the shorts off him, went in my back room, shook them, folded them, come back, give them to him, and he went, "Oh, brilliant!" Exactly the same thing. You know,
in his head, I suppose. And
psychological, you know.
Yeah, that's it. I think I saw a piece before with Dumitrescu, where I think it was like before a Monday night football game, I remember on Sky years ago, where they kind of went in the changing rooms and that, and he had the foot of his socks cut off. Is that right? And he would play barefoot.
He used to Dumitrescu used to cut his socks off.
Yeah.
Take the inner soles out of his shoes.
Wow.
And he used to play. He used to play like with his feet just in the actual boot.
Wow.
And you know, I used to say to him what are you doing? He said, I like to feel the ball. I like to feel.
Yeah.
And that's how he was, you know. It's crazy. And yet you get another player that would just put a brand new pair of boots on and play.
And just go out. Yeah.
Just go out. Yeah,
it's just that psychological side of it, I
Yeah,
suppose, isn't it? That
yeah,
mentality.
yeah.
And so when you sign like a new player, when the club signs a new player, are you when are you made aware of these kind of superstitions and how they like their kit? And
Well, it's like what I used to do was ring the opposition kit manager.
Right, okay, yeah.
So once I got the win that we was going to sign someone,
yeah,
I'll ring him and say, like, you know, what's his preferences, what's his superstitions.
Yeah.
Try and get sort of a bit of a rundown of how he is. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, you get to know players after a week or 10 days.
Yeah.
You know what they like, but yeah, I just used to ring you, and they used to do the same with me. If someone signed someone from Tottenham, they'd ring me and say, "Okay, Roy, you know, what's he like? What's he, you know?" And
yeah,
a little bit like a kitman's union and a goalkeeper's union.
All look after each other.
Exactly right.
Did you have a phone call in the early '90s from a certain Lazio kitman?
No,
what the hell have we done here?
I mean, yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, we could talk about Gascoigne.
Oh, yeah.
All day long, you know.
Yeah.
But I went to see him actually about 6 weeks ago.
Oh, you did? Yeah.
And he was in good song. He was in real good form. Yeah, he really was.
Brilliant.
But he was so easy.
Yeah.
You know, he had these little superstitions, and you know it was like before a game, and
yeah.
But as a you know, you put his kit out and you put it on. That was it, done.
Yeah.
Finished. Never any qualms, never any moans. And you know, as a player, I mean, he's probably the best I've seen, I would think.
Well, you surprised me a couple of minutes ago when you said he was like a bag of nerves before games. It kind of doesn't come over like that, does it? When you watch him play,
in the dressing room, in the dressing room before a game, he was just, he'd be walking around. It's just nervous energy.
Yeah.
All he wanted to do was to get out in that field and the whistle would blow.
Right. Okay.
That's what he wanted.
And that's his space, isn't it? I suppose that's his environment, and
that's it. I think that's where he felt safe. I think that's where he felt no one could get at him. No one could ridicule him, or you know, that was him at his best.
Yeah.
And proof of the pudding was, it wasn't often you see him have a bad game, was it? You know.
No, he was what a player.
He was special. He was special.
Absolutely. Have you got
a good friend? And a good friend.
You really he keeps in touch?
We used to go fishing every Wednesday.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah, we used to go fishing every Wednesday. So great guy.
Brilliant. Have you got a Gaza story you can tell us? Any one that springs to mind, that, considering we might have some kids watching as well?
No. I mean, I've got a million Gaza stories. But, the one that sticks out most in my mind is we was playing a home game. I think it was a big game. Might be Man United or someone.
Yeah.
So as you come out of the old West Stand, you could come out the dressing room door, but there's also another door that led into the physio room.
Yeah.
So they'd gone out to warm up, and they was out warming up, and I didn't used to go out for warm up because I was to prep the dressing room for when they come in.
Yeah.
So the lads are drifting in one at a time. And all of a sudden, Gazza's like walked into the dressing room, but he's come through the treatment room.
Oh, right.
And he's just got his little sloggy slip on, you know. And I thought, I must have had a quick massage, you know. But bearing in mind now, it's 2:45, almost 2:50, ready to go out. So he's walked in there. I said, where's your gear?
Yeah.
I thought we'd left it in the treatment room. He went, oh, no. And he's Geordie accent, you know. He said there was a little boy out there and he wasn't very well. We said, so I'll give it to him. I said,
oh, no.
What do you mean you give it to him? What, everything? And he stripped off down. He literally stripped off down to his slip. He'd given him his warm-up jumper, his warm-up T-shirt, his match shorts, his match socks, his shin pads.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that was him. That was him, you know?
What a character. So good.
The best. The best.
What kind of issues did that cause you then? Obviously, when he's walked through 10 minutes before kickoff.
To be honest, it was only the fact that it was so close to going out.
Yeah.
But it wasn't really an issue because all he needed was another number 8 pair of shorts.
Yeah.
A new pair of socks. I found him a pair of shin pads because I had an abundance of them.
Yeah.
And his match shirt would have been on his peg anyway.
Oh, right, okay.
But it was just that he come in so late, and all the rest of the lads was good to go.
And ready to go. Yeah. Brilliant.
But he would think nothing of that.
No.
Nothing. Yeah.
But I suppose that sums up his nature, doesn't it? You know what I mean? He's seen the opportunity to make a kid's day, and he's taken it, isn't he? And
I honestly can't remember him ever turning down an autograph, turning down an interview.
Oh, wow.
Being friendly to whoever was around.
Yeah.
That was just his character, you know.
Yeah. So would it be fair to say that Gaz is probably one of the best players that you've kind of worked with?
Without any shadow of doubt.
So on the flip side of that, who would be? I don't want you to get into trouble or anything, but was there anyone that you found a bit difficult? Anyone that you thought, do you know what I mean? This is a pain.
Not difficult, but needy. Edgar Davids.
Oh, right, okay.
But not in a nasty way.
No.
But just needy.
In what way? What was it?
You know, he had that issue with his eyes, didn't he?
Glaucoma, didn't he?
Yeah. So he used to have a different pair of coloured glasses to coordinate with the kit that he wore.
Yeah. Okay.
So if we was playing in sky blue, if he was playing in white, if he was playing in navy, if he was playing in yellow, he would have the corresponding pair of glasses.
Okay. Yeah.
But he would expect me to find them and take them. So what I done in the end, I said to him, look, Edgar, let's make this life easy.
Yeah.
I said, go to your guy, whoever you get them from, and get me one pair of every colour.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah.
And I just put them in the skip and took every pair of glasses to every game.
Yeah. Oh, right,
that way I was covered.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? So I didn't have to worry. But there wasn't many, to be honest.
No.
There really wasn't many. No.
I think we get, like, as public and fans and that, we get kind of a misconception of footballers sometimes where, do you know what I mean? You kind of look at them, they're really pampered and things like that. And you've just got to get the impression that it might be hard work, but obviously working on the inside and working alongside them, it's maybe a bit different, isn't it?
Well, I mean, please don't take this the wrong way, but
no.
They need me more than I need them.
Yeah.
So I never had any issues with any player.
No. Yeah.
Because they knew that, you know, whatever they wanted on a match day would be there prior to them coming in, or a training day, or whatever they wanted would be there for them.
Yeah.
And I was really, really lucky. I had a fantastic relationship with all the players that I worked with over the years.
Yeah.
You know, I can't remember any that I never really had a fallout with.
No.
So, yeah, it was good.
Would you say you had more of a relationship with the lads that came through the kind of system, if you like, through the youth team that you've maybe seen grow up and make their way into the first team? And
some, like, you know, like the lads that come in from lower clubs, like God rest his soul, Justin, and I had Parksy come through the academy, or you know, the apprenticeship there. So you do have David Owls and those kind of people. So of course you have that. You know, when they make their debut, you're sitting there thinking, please have a good game, you know, and and that side of it's lovely, you know. When you see Parksy come right the way through and then save the goal in the final, save the penalty in the final, and, you know, little things like that, and you know, watch David Alls playing a cup final. It's that's special.
Brilliant.
Yeah, special.
Brilliant. Has it ever gone wrong? Like from your side, have you ever like gone to an away game and thought, "Hang on a minute, where's the shorts?"
No,
no,
because I was always old school. We didn't have computers and God knows what else in them days. So everything was handwritten. So my check, I used to have 3 checks. So it would be shirts off the rack, into a pile folded, shorts the same, and then that would be then counted into the skip. And then your second set, because you always took, depending on what player it was, I would take at least 3 shirts for every player.
Oh, right, okay.
So, and the same with shorts. And you just take an abundance of socks and slips and towels. And so, what I used to do was on a say if we was playing on a Saturday, I used to try and get packed by sort of Wednesday, Thursday if we didn't have a midweek game.
Okay.
And I just used to lock myself in the dressing room, in the kit room, so that no one could come in.
Okay.
Because obviously, if I'm doing something and someone walks in, and your trainer, that's what happens. Your train of thought goes, and then I just used to shut myself in, and they knew that I'd be there, forever long. Once it was done, they could all come in and do what they want.
Oh, right, okay. That's your area.
That was my little, I used to make sure things was absolute. I was pretty methodical, to be honest. So
yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Is so if we see like players, I don't know if it's changed now to kind of back when you were at Tottenham and that, but we see players chucking shirts in the crowd, and you mean like Gazza giving away his kit. Where does that ultimately end up then? Who pays for the shirts and who's responsible for that?
When I was at Spurs, they used to give initially especially when like the foreign contingent come in. They tended to take 1 or 2 shirts a game. And I think I worked it out one year that it was something like 18 grand in shirts that I'd lost. So I spoke to the management and said, look, we need to come up with a compromise here because it's off my budget. And so what they'd done, that there was agreement that they could all have 5 shirts each. Home or away, whatever they wanted. And anything after that was they pay for.
Oh, they would,
because it's not willy nilly, it's and then it's also the hassle of the more they give away. Yes, of course you have a stock of shirts, but it's not a forever stock.
No.
So you think yourself, well, if you play 3 games in a week and you're wearing the same kit each time, and you've then got to get them onto the manufacturers. Because they've got to be named and numbered and badged, and so that was the idea. So
is that still the case now? Do they get an issue? And
I believe so. I haven't spoke to Dukesy for some time, but I think I think that's the case now. As it should be.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you mean you pretty much see them giving away and swapping shirts every game now, aren't they? It's part of. You see interviews with players at home and things, and they've got an array of football shirts behind them, haven't they? And
but when you think, if you go back to, I use Skip, but I still call him Skip. Stevie P as an example in his era. I can't ever imagine them. I can't remember them shirts being given away.
No.
I'm not even sure the players kept them themselves.
They're not. No,
I don't think so. No. So
have you got any?
No, do you know what? It's really strange, isn't it? I've never. It's a bit like working in a sweet shop.
Yeah.
Shirts have never ever meant anything to me. Not meant anything to me, but I've never had a necessity to or a want to have shirts. The only shirts I've got, I think it's 6 or 7 shirts. And it's where players have left, and I haven't asked for them. They've come to me, and given me this shirt. I think I've got one of Teddy's, one of Stefan's, one of Sol Campbell's.
Have you?
I think I've got 6. I think. But it just didn't. I still get people to this day contact me and ask me for shirts, and I said, seriously, I've never ever.
No. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Do you regret that? Do you look back and think, "Oh, I would quite like an 84 shirt or anything like that"?
No, not really. I don't know. Not really. I guess. What do you do with them?
Well, that's it, isn't it? Yeah, just
what do you do?
Yeah.
It's. I suppose I've still got them ones upstairs. But they're actually signed to Roy, and it'll have something like "Thanks for everything" or "Many thanks" or sort of an appreciation thing, if you like.
Yeah, it's nice. It's personal, isn't it?
Yeah, so I've kept them, but no, as far as anything else, never. No.
No. Okay, so we've spoken about players and that. So you've worked under 17 managers at Tottenham,
Yeah.
which is a lot. Any kind of stories around them? Did any of them were any of them a bit more needy than others, or?
No, not needy. I mean, I had some good ones.
Yeah,
Some
proper names there, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, like Jerry Francis was a great family man.
Yeah. Okay.
He come in one day. He said, "Right, he's closing the training ground down for a day on Wednesday."
Yeah.
We was away on the Saturday. He said, "Right, I don't want anyone in the training ground on a Wednesday."
Yeah.
Which is, I can't do that.
No.
Because, like I said to you earlier, Wednesday was my day for practicing for the weekend.
Yeah.
Because normally we'd travel on a Friday.
Yeah.
We'd train on the Thursday. We'd do a run day on a Friday and travel, and then right, you're not coming in. So anyway, actually, I went in, but unbeknownst to me, he turned up.
Oh,
So he's come in my kit room and he's gone, "What are you doing here?" I said, "Gaffer, come on." I said, "Look, I'm packing for." He went, "No, go on." He said, "If you don't go on, I'm sacking you."
Yeah.
He wouldn't have done.
No.
So I thought, what do I do? So all right. So I got in the car, drove out.
Yeah.
Waited for him to go home, and then I went back in and done it.
Brilliant.
And then you had I had so many. I mean, Keith Burnshaw was magnificent.
Yeah.
Keith was great, and we had a groundsman called Colin White,
right,
who come from Southampton, and we both joined at about the same time, and he was a great lad, great, passed away now, but great lad. And one day Keith come out and he said to Colin, he went, Colin, he said, "What about these indentations in the pitch?" So Colin went, "Sorry, Gaffer?" He went, "Indentations." So Collins went, "Don't you mean holes?" He went, "No, indentations."
Brilliant.
And then you had Venners, who was he was probably, him and Glenn were probably the two best tacticians that I'd worked under. Like when you're sitting on the bench and something's happening, and they don't change the clientele, but they change the pattern. And it makes a difference. They were special, But Glenn was good fun. He was a bit straight laced at times, but Venners was probably the best coach. That I worked under, I would think, tactically.
And proper Tottenham men as well, wouldn't they? Like when you see Glenn coming through, and
well, you had him and you had Alan Harris. So that was all sort of local London, So it was good. That was a good time.
So Glenn, you would have had as player and manager.
Yeah.
How was that?
So Glenn was in my early years, because Johnny would have still been involved then, but I was like assistant. And just to watch, he was a magician, wasn't he? He was a magician. I remember one day he was playing a game, and because he was left and right foot, he could, and it was pouring with rain, and he dropped his right shoulder and went left, and he was just in our half, and he hit a crossfield ball from the right to the left to Tony Galvin.
Oh, right,
Not very well at the moment, by the way.
No, he's not. No.
So he's hit this ball to Tony Galvin, and it's pouring with rain, and it's gone over the fullback, and it's hit, and for all intents and purposes, it's going out of play. No, it had backspin on it, and it's staying in play.
Wow.
And you look at that and you go, really? Really? I couldn't even kick it that far, and he's putting back
on those pitches as well.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
Yeah. So, was there any? Just a couple of quick fire ones, really. What's the strangest item any kind of player? I know you touched on Edgar Davids with his glasses, but what's the strangest item that any kind of players asked you to kind of arrange or sort out?
Shin pads.
Is it shin pads? Yeah.
Like Gary Lineker's shin pads was like they was like the ones today.
Yeah. All right.
Like size of a matchbox. And Robbie Keane used to wear them. They was about, I don't know, probably about 5 inches long, but probably an inch wide. Yeah. But Gary Lineker's was tiny. Yeah. Tiny. Yeah. And then it wasn't compulsory to wear shin pads. So Tony Galvin didn't wear any.
Oh, was it not?
No, he never used to wear shin pads.
Oh, right. Okay.
And his legs used to be lacerated to pieces. But I suppose, I look at that and I think there should be even to this day, I think there should be a rule where they should be a certain length and a certain width.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
that's just a personal thing from me.
Yeah,
but I said to Gary Lineker one day, "But Links," I said, "Why are you wearing so small?" He said, "Roy," he said, big shin pads have stopped me from running.
Yeah,
I said, "Yeah, it was so with a broken leg."
Yeah,
So yeah. But they, to be honest, I can't speak for today's players.
No.
But in my era, there wasn't really very many needy ones. I think they was just happy to play.
Yeah.
That was my feelings. They were just desperate to pull the white shirt on and get out there and play for Spurs.
Yeah, definitely. Do you mean it's like a fan's dream, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? To play football and to grow up playing for the team you support.
Of course it is. I mean, if you look at my capacity, if you can't be a player, my capacity to sit on the bench, to travel Webster's games, go all over the world, to work with these fantastic players who become friends.
Yeah,
it don't get better than that.
What a job!
It don't get better.
No, and you don't get turned over. Like, you're not under the pressure of managers in that sense. You mean that media spotlight?
No, I mean, it is a pressure job in as much that if you're playing, I don't know, Barcelona away or somewhere abroad, and you get in the plane and you've packed everything. It's all there.
Yeah,
and you sit there and you go, I wonder if I.
Like Home Alone when you've left the kid at home.
Exactly. Well, we played in Greece once, and we was on the bus, and we was going through these roads, and I'm sitting on the coach, and all of a sudden we used to use these big metal skips with wheels on.
Oh yeah,
and it went past us.
Oh wow!
The side of the thing had come open, and it came out the coach.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Everyone's laughing apart from you.
Oh, I wasn't laughing.
No.
But little things like that. But it's happens,
Brilliant. So is there so across all those years, for as long as you've been at the club, and we say 29 years, is there any kind of moment or era where you look back and it kind of gives you goosebumps, and where you could go back tomorrow and relive that, if you like?
I think my early years when I first started, because obviously, like, your new boy on the block, and I was working with Johnny, and when you're watching, like, your Stevie Perrymans and your Glenn Hoddles and your Steve Archibalds and your Garth Crooks, that was special. That was special because I was looking at them before I started there.
Right. Okay.
And then when you get to work with the likes of Teddy Sheringham and Jurgen Klinsmann and David Ginola, and where do you want to go? How many names do you want to mention?
Yeah.
And you just, and then, people say, my mates used to say to me, like, "Oh, does Teddy speak to you, or does David speak?" And you think, like, "Well, who do you speak to your mates at work?"
Yeah.
And they go, "Yeah." So, well, there you go.
All right.
And they'd go, "Yeah, but that's Teddy Sheringham."
Yeah.
And it was special.
Yeah.
It was special. It was a special 20 odd years,
Yeah. So what were the circumstances of you leaving then? Obviously, we touched at the beginning that you went to Saracens rugby after Tottenham.
It was more to the point that I was getting not frustrated, but I've been there a long time.
Yeah.
I was doing ridiculous hours,
and
then Saracens got in touch with me.
Okay.
And they was at Hatfield. And they were a coach come in called Brendan Venter.
Okay.
Who'd won the World Cup with South Africa.
Yeah.
And the management wanted to bring someone in every department to because the rugby had just gone professional.
Right.
They wanted to bring everyone in and try and bring it to a bigger standard.
Yeah.
So they brought in high-class physios, high-class coaches. I mean, Mark McCall, who's the current coach at Saracens now. Yeah. So he was there as a younger coach, and I just thought, that could be the change that I need, Yeah, yeah. And I went and spoke to him. Big decision.
Yeah, absolutely.
Big decision. Yeah. but it was local and it was less travelling and it was less. Well, at the time it was less players.
Yeah.
And the proof of the pudding was the fact that we won 5 league championships and 3 European Cups.
Not bad going, is it?
You know, and that's you know, and we've done the double, European Cup and a Premiership. So, would I have gone back into football? Would I have gone back to Spurs? Yes, I would.
You would, yeah.
Yeah, I would have done. That's not to say I made a bad decision.
No. Yeah.
But I'm a Tottenham boy. That's what I am. You know, I was born. I used to play football. I mean, I don't know much how far you go back, but they used to have a Worcester Avenue at the back of the
East Stand. Yeah.
And they used to have blue doors.
All right.
On like entrance doors.
That's it. Yeah.
And me and about 20 of my mates used to go up there every single night and play football under the floodlights.
Oh,
under the street lights.
Yeah.
Every night.
Yeah.
You know, and before I worked there, I would go to reserve games. I'd go to first team. You know, my brother-in-law, my sister's husband, used to take me when I was really young.
Yeah.
And stand me on a box behind the barriers so that I didn't get crushed. You know. And,
brilliant.
And so yeah, it's me. You know, and when I talk to, I speak to Stevie P. Yeah. Probably every week.
Okay.
Pretty close to every week.
Yeah.
And I've been to see him a few of when he does like an evening with and whatever.
Yeah.
And when you see a true Spur, like him, and Paul Miller, you know, like that kind of era.
Yeah.
You know, when you got a friend that's a legend, that's special.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, special.
Yeah. No, Steve came down a couple of weeks ago down here to Cornwall and did an evening for us, and everybody was just in awe of hanging on every word he said. Like, you know, you could just see the passion for the club, and probably a little bit frustrated with football these days compared to back when.
Well, I find it difficult watching it now because I mean, I know you can't play every ball forward. I know that.
No,
it's just, you know, but when I look back to, you know, a prime example is what we're talking about, like your Tony Galvins.
Yeah.
You know, David Giannola's, who was direct people.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's goal, all this, you know, where it doesn't have to go outside the box and the goalkeeper can give it a yard to the fullback. Why?
Yeah.
You know, and they put this under, you know, unless you're Man City. They put this under so much pressure, and they're obviously told to play that way.
Yeah. I think it's Guardiola, isn't it? He's changed the face of the football.
And I don't find it as interesting. No, there's something about it that's missing. I think I don't know what it is.
But you touched on Ginola there and people like that. You mean the players that Tottenham loved, didn't we? You mean the wide players, Chrissy Waddle and people like that. It would take on a man every time they got the ball.
Exactly.
But now it's like nobody's allowed to beat a man, are they? It's play, keep it safe. It's play the percentage ball every time.
Well, if you look at players like Grealish, who is that type of player?
Yeah.
And he gets you off your seat. And I think that's what.
Yeah,
we used to have at Tottenham in an abundance.
Although
we didn't win very much,
no,
we had players that got us off our seats.
Yeah.
In every department.
No,
you know, and I just think that, you know, now it's all right. We're a little bit lucky now. We've got a couple of players at the back that like to play. I mean, the goal the lad scored the other day when he ran for his own penalty area.
Oh
my days, you know.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad, was it?
It was great, but
I
just think. I don't know if they're frightened to play or if they're told not to. They must play to a system, you know, and the managers obviously know a lot more than I do.
Yeah.
But, you know, sometimes I look at it and I think, it's boring, you know?
Yeah.
But there you go.
So just going back slightly, you mean I don't want to keep you too long, but you sat on a dugout with 17 different managers. So you must have picked up a bit from them. Two things really. Firstly, were you kind of a frustrated manager where you think, you know, I could do this job? And secondly, was there a manager where you'd picked up bits from previous managers and thought, oof, you're doing the wrong thing here, and then it kind of turned out the way you thought it would?
Yeah. So Terry Venables, as good as he was, would ask every one of his coaches and me on a match day, on the dugout, this is not going right. What do you think? What do you think? Like Chris
Really?
Hume and Alan Harris, and what do you think? And you're thinking like, Gaffer, you're asking me, and I just put the kit on him, you know.
Yeah.
But I think he obviously thought, well, you've seen 1,000 games.
Yeah. Yeah.
You might have seen something.
You know your football. Yeah.
Exactly. You know, and then you go to the other side with Christian Gross, who was he's a nice enough man.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that was the hardest. I would say that was the hardest year in all my career at Spurs. That was my hardest year.
Why would you say that?
Because we used to train every Saturday morning before a game, home and away.
Really? Before a game?
Yep. We used to, but it wasn't a training session. It was like a stretching, running session.
Yeah.
But we used to stay, even home games. We used to have to stay in a hotel in Cheshunt.
Yeah.
And that hotel, I could throw a stone and break the windows from my house.
Oh, right. Okay.
But everybody had to stay in the hotel.
Yeah, that's not going to go down well, is it?
And then we'd do like a 10-minute session in the car park.
Yeah.
And then I'd have to so I'd go there on a Friday night, put all the kit outside the lads' rooms.
Yeah.
Have the evening meal, go to bed, get up, crack of dawn in the morning. The lads would do a 10-15-minute stretch and whatever in the car park.
Yeah.
I'd scoop the kit up, throw it in my car.
Yeah.
And then go down to White Hart Lane. And all right, I would have already prepped for the game on the Friday. I'd have set up on the Friday for the Saturday.
Yeah.
But then when you used to do that away from home as well,
yeah,
it was a task. And like I've said to people before, if we was winning every game,
yeah,
I'd go,
yeah,
but I still don't like it, but it's the right thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you was getting beat up, and we used to train, we used to come in every Sunday for a warm down. So I never had any. I done the whole season without a day off, every day.
Wow. Yeah,
every day, and that isn't an issue if that's what the gaffer wants and you're winning, you go, well, okay. But when you're not winning, you've got to say to your miss, my ex-wife, like, well, no, I'm not here with the kids, or no. So that was hard.
Yeah. Would you in those circumstances then, would you be the sounding board for players? Would they come and have a moan to you rather than going direct to the manager? Would you be
so in my kit room, I used to think I was like, since I've retired, I used to tell people like I'm an agony aunt. Because they used to come in the kit room. And they might, it could be anything. Right? It could be they've had a row with their wife or their girlfriend, or they've been dropped, or they're injured, or they're not happy with this or that. And they're coming there and they shut the door. And I can honestly say, hand on heart, I would not remember a thing they said. I didn't listen.
No.
But they was getting it out, because if they can't, who else could they go to? If they went to the physio, they'd go to the assistant manager. If he went to the assistant manager, he'd go to the manager. Yeah. So I just used to say, yeah, great. And that was it. And I used to get it off their chest and go. Yeah. And I've never, ever, and I never would, even if I remember some of the things, repeat it, because once you lose that trust, you might have to throw the towel in. Yeah. And I had the utmost trust from the lads, and that's how it worked. Yeah.
Excellent. Just before we go, Steve, Roy, sorry, just a quick one. Tottenham Arsenal this Sunday.
Yeah.
Over at the Emirates. What are your kind of thoughts on that game? What's the prediction?
I always found, although we don't often beat, they'll give us chance. I know they're good at the back, but Gabriel's missing. Yeah,
it's looking that way, isn't it?
So I don't think he's going to play.
No.
And I just think going forward, we'll be all right. Defensively, I think we'll be good.
Yeah.
But then they have got a good front line.
Yeah, they have. Yeah.
They have got a good front line. And that's the only thing with us. I just think we're struggling for an out-and-out number 9.
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
If we can get into certain areas, and we instead of getting back to Ginola and Waddle, instead of getting down the line and getting the ball in, even though we've got the players capable of doing that with Johnson, unless is it Richarlison? I don't know who would play there.
Yeah, it's a difficult one. I think we're crying out for Solanke to come back, aren't we? We need him.
Yeah, but he's been out a while, and over the years I've known that although players come back and they're fit,
they're
not match fit.
Match fit, yeah.
You know, you can. It's the same as in rugby. You can run all day long after an injury, and you can be as fit as a butcher's dog. 10 minutes into a game, you can't get no air in your lungs.
Blowing,
but you are, because it's nervous tension, it's expectation, it's the worry of, is the injury going to reoccur?
Yeah.
You know, so I always, just me, over the years, I think it takes a player 5 or 6 games to get back to full match fitness and full match, quality.
Yeah.
But
so,
having said that, yes, I fancy us.
You fancy us, do you? Think we can go there and get a win? Yeah.
I'm not saying a win.
No.
I'd take a draw.
You take a draw now, would you?
Of course I would,
yeah.
But I think we'd be all right.
A draw and a good performance, I suppose.
Well, no, a draw and a bad performance. I'll take that.
It's nice to take someone else out of it. Yeah, we can't be too greedy, can we?
A win and a bad performance.
Oh yeah, a win and a bad performance. We'll settle for that. But Roy, it's been absolutely a pleasure to speak to you, and thank you very much for.
Thank you.
Before we go, I just want to tell everybody about this book of yours, Shirt and Spurs. So this is your book, which you've written about your time at Tottenham. And a lot of stuff that we've spoken about today. It's a great book. So anybody watching, if you want to go ahead and grab that one, please do, because I've read it myself. It says, from Gaza to Genola, my 29 years as kit man at the Lane. So I'm sure there's some people out there will really, really enjoy that one. And it's coming up to Christmas. So what better thing to put in your stocking than that book? So go ahead and do that, please. But Roy, thank you very much for spending time with us. And really, really appreciate it.
Absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
Come on, you Spurs.
Hey, how are we doing, guys? Thank you very much to Roy Reyland, Tottenham Hotspur Kit Manager, for a whopping 29 years. That's some shift, that, isn't it? And very, very thank you very much. Really, really appreciate Roy coming on to the show and telling us about his time at Tottenham. Some fantastic stories there. Once this show's done, I'm going to be posting it back up on YouTube so you can watch that back in your own time if you missed part of it. We are going out live now on YouTube. So thank you very much for tuning in and watching. There's plenty of time for you, Tottenham fans, to come on and talk about our Manchester United game a couple of weeks ago. Seems like forever, doesn't it? Where we drew 2-2 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium against Manchester United. We're going to talk about that one, and also talking about the international break, where a lot of Tottenham players were involved. Some successful, some not so. And we're also going to be previewing the small game on Sunday, where we travel to the Emirates and we're playing against Arsenal on Sunday. So if you want to come on, you'll see the link on Facebook or wherever I've posted it out to. There's 2 links, one to watch the show, which you've obviously clicked on now, and there's one where you can join the studio. So click on that one. There's some space. You come on and we will talk about all things Tottenham. So it doesn't necessarily have to be about the Man United game and a North London derby. You can talk about anything you want. We've had 2 weeks to mull over it, haven't we? No games, no Tottenham to ruin our weekends for 2 weeks. It's been nice, isn't it? That starts again this week. Well, hopefully it doesn't start this week. Hopefully we win on Sunday. We'll get a positive result, I'm sure. So let's have a look back at the Manchester United game. Yeah, so we do this every single show. We go back and look at previous matches. So if we look back, we drew 2-2 with Manchester United just before the international break. Matis Tau scoring what we thought were, got us back into the game, didn't it? So 1-1, that brought us back to, and then, of course, Richarlison, thinking he got the winner in the 91st minute, 92nd minute, only to be denied by Matis Delight. So if we look at the stats from that match, 2-2, shots on goal, on target actually, 4 for us, 2 for Manchester United. 10 shots in target in total, actually, for us, 5 for Man United. 3 block shots to 1, 55% possession. Our home form, is it starting to turn around a little bit? Good performance against Copenhagen. and then a half decent performance, certainly in the second half against Manchester United. Passes completed, or passes 460, 382 completed. So we outpassed them, if you like. 26 tackles to their 20, and 10 fouls conceded, with 5 corners to Manchester United's 3. So we are talking about that game, Tottenham and Manchester United. If you do want to come on and have a chat about that, then please do so. Click on the studio link. I know there's a few people that said they would like to come on and join in, so please do so. If you are watching on YouTube, don't forget to click that subscribe button, and you'll get notified and things like that whenever we go live. So it will typically be ahead of the weekend's action, and we'll chuck in some stuff as we go along. So if we look at the international break, as we go on to that now, we had Pedro Porro played 45 minutes and a clean sheet as Spain won 4-0 away to Georgia. And then he was an unused sub as Spain drew 2-2 with Turkey, both in the World Cup qualifications. Jed Spence was an unused sub in both games for England as they won at home against Serbia by 2-0 and away in Albania by 2-0. They were both, again, the World Cup qualification matches. Richarlison was an unused sub, so he's going to be fresh for Sunday. I expect him to start because he hasn't played. He's an unused sub for both games for Brazil as they beat Senegal 2-0 and Tunisia by 1. They drew 1-1 with Tunisia, both in friendlies. I think the Senegal one was at the Emirates, actually, in London. João Palhinha was an unused sub in both of his games for Portugal, losing 2-0 away in Ireland and beating Armenia by a whopping 9-1, both World Cup qualifiers. Guillermo Vicario, both World Cup qualifiers. He played 90 minutes in a clean sheet as they won 2-0 away to Moldova. And he was an unused sub as Italy lost 4-1 at home to Norway. So he's done his international credentials a lot of favours there, actually, hasn't he? Both clean sheet in his appearance. Mickey van der Ven played 90 minutes, and Xavi Simons was an unused sub as Netherlands drew 1-1 away to Poland, and then they went and beat Lithuania 4-0 at home, where Xavi Simons played 78 minutes and he scored a goal. Mickey van der Ven was an unused sub in that game. Christian Romero, 90 minutes he played out a clean sheet as Argentina beat Angola by 2-0 in a friendly. Pat Matasar played 49 minutes and he was absent from the squad in the second game. So 49 minutes as Brazil beat Senegal by 2-0, and he was absent. He came off with an injury, actually, didn't he? I think their manager said that he's all right, and Thomas Frank said today that he's trained. So he's going to be all good to go for Sunday. So he missed the game where Senegal beat Kenya by 8-0. Brent Johnson played 7 minutes as a sub as Wales beat Liechtenstein 1-0 away from home. And then they went and hammered North Macedonia by 7-1 in their World Cup qualifier. So they've got through to the playoff, which I think they're playing... Is it Bosnia, potentially? I think it's Bosnia they've got. But he played 90 minutes and scored and assisted. So hopefully that's going to encourage him ahead of Sunday, which he may well start that game, actually. We'll get onto that one in a bit. Rodrigo Bentancur, 90 minutes. He played as Mexico drew 0-0 against Uruguay. And then the USA beat Mauricio Pochettino's, actually, USA beat Uruguay by 5-1 in a friendly where Bentancur played 64 minutes. He got a yellow card, and that was swiftly followed up by a red card. So you'll be disappointed with that. And last but by no means least, in the senior international fixtures over the break, Kevin Danso played 90 minutes and an assist and a clean sheet as Austria beat Cyprus by 2-0 in Cyprus. And then Austria at home drew 1-1 against Bosnia and Herzegovina, who I think are playing Wales, of where he played 90 minutes. So that is the international roundup. If anyone wants to come on and we'll chat about the Arsenal game, which is coming up shortly on Sunday, then please do so. I'll go through it now. We'll have a little chat about that one. So that is the international roundup, and we'll just go through the Arsenal game. Okay, so Thomas Frank said today there's quite a few players that are coming back. They've been training over the certainly today. So we've got James Maddison still out with that anterior cruciate ligament injury, expected probably to miss all of the season. If we see him at any point this season, I think that's going to be a bonus. Dejan Kulusevski out of his new injury, expected to be back around December. Graham Potter said a couple of days ago. Now, he spoke to him whilst in his role as Swedish national team manager, and THFC, they're looking at around Christmas-ish. He's got an official return date for his injury at the minute of the 29th of November, but we'll see how that one goes. It's probably going to be the new year, isn't it? Dominic Solanke, every single week, Thomas Frank says he's going to be back in a couple of days or any time now, a couple of weeks. So he's still out with that ankle injury. Expected to come back probably next week, potentially. We might see him get some sort of minutes next week, but we'll see. Maybe they might do what they did with Radu Dragusin and give him 45 minutes in a friendly before then. Ben Davies, he returned to full training today. So he's back in training from his thigh injury. Radu Dragusin, he's been out with that anterior cruciate ligament injury, probably 9 months has he been missing for. He is back in training, full training, and he played that 45 minutes in that behind the closed doors friendly, I think they like to call it, but he played a friendly at the Tottenham training ground. He played 45 minutes, so he is back in contention. Potentially, you might see him on the bench on Sunday, but I think Ben Davies is back as well, so maybe not. Yves Bissouma, he's back from that ankle injury. I think he's been training. He's been showing some bits on his social media, which he's very, very active on, but he's certainly back in training, so whether we'll see him on Sunday, that might come too soon. I know Thomas Frank in his press conference today didn't actually mention Bissouma. He's one of the few players that he didn't mention. So I don't know how much there is to that injury. He seems to have missed quite a lot of football since Thomas Frank came out and spoke out about him, didn't he? Where he kept turning up late for training. So I think he's probably a player we're going to be looking to shift on in January, potentially if a decent bid comes in. I know that his contract runs up in the summer, end of this season, but we've got an extension of a year and that's optional for the club. So we may there's a lot of talk we might trigger that year and then get a fee for him, basically. So if I think it's optional. So Tottenham add that year on. We get a fee for him in January or maybe the end of the season. So yeah, we certainly, I don't think we'd be getting anywhere near our money back on him. Archie Gray back in full training from that calf injury. So that's another bonus. Very versatile, isn't he? So we may well see him feature on the bench Sunday. Kota Takai, the Japanese centre half, highly promising actually. Read quite a few reports about him from Japanese media in the summer when we signed him, and they were raving about him. Said he's a really good modern footballer, good size, brings the ball out. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with him. It's going to take a lot of adapting for the Premier League and things like that. But those injuries certainly haven't done him any favours. So you may well see him in some under 21 games or something like that, just to try to get some fitness going. Who else have we got? Lucas Bergvall. So he's back after that concussion. So he missed out his international duty with Sweden. He was assessed and decided to stay. It was best that he would stay back at Tottenham. So he's been recovering back at Hotspur Way. So that injury picked up Chelsea, wasn't it? Yeah, so a few weeks ago. No, was that 3 weeks ago? So yeah, he's back. He's full training. So he should be in the squad at least for Sunday. Whether he starts or not, we don't know. We'll have a look and see. Mohamed Kudus, he's one that Thomas Frank did mention in the press conference today. Eventually, he got there in the end. It took him a little while to bring up Kudus, but he is back in. So he'll be in the squad for Sunday. Christian Romero pulled out of his international. He was injured. We'll see. I don't know. He came home. I think he only played one game and came back. Let's have a look back at my notes for him. Yeah, he played 90 minutes and a clean sheet away to Angola. So he'll probably play on Sunday, I expect, won't he? South American. Tough man, aren't they? Pat Matassar, he got a knock. His international manager seemed to think he'll be okay, but we shall see. But he did train today, so that's good news. And last but no means least, Randall Kolo-Muani. Well, that's been a bit of a saga over the last couple of weeks, hasn't it? He picked up that facial injury. There was a lot of talk about him potentially being out for 6 to 8 weeks minimum with his injury, and then there was a lot of talk about him potentially needing an operation, but he has trained. He's been training. He's got whether he's been training contact or non-contact, I don't know, but he has trained, and he's got some special, kind of like contraption made for his face. So he is available for Sunday. If anyone wants to come on, we'll talk about the Tottenham game on Sunday, the big North London derby. Be nice to see if we get some guests on. Quite a big game on Sunday, isn't it? So We'll have a little look. I'll go through and talk about it. We're going out on live on YouTube at the minute. Wherever you've seen it, whether it's Facebook, messaging, or anything like that, you would have seen a link which brings you into a studio, basically, and it comes into a little back room. I see you waiting, and then I'll bring you to the show, so you can come on and we can talk about the North London derby. But what I'll do now is I'll go through it, and I'll see what we've got. Right, so league table, Arsenal unfortunately sitting top of the Premier League on 26 points. They played 11, won 8, drawn 2, lost 1, scored 20, and they've got a real miserly defence, haven't they? Conceding just the 5 in their 11 league games. Goal difference of plus 15, which is the same as Manchester City. Goal difference of plus 15, but they are 4 points ahead of City, who are in second place. I think it's those losses, really, isn't it? It's letting City down, losing 3 games, and one of them to us. So we're in 5th at the minute. Played 11, won 5, drawn 3, lost 3, scored 19, let in or conceded a 10 with goal difference of 9, 18 points. So it's our home form that's very much letting us down at the minute. Our away form has been very, very good, but unfortunately, it is the home form that is letting us down, which is surprising, really, because over the years we've been really, really good at home, haven't we? But unfortunately, we're not doing so well at home, albeit we drew 2-2 with Man United last time out. And of course, we beat Copenhagen, didn't we, by 4-2 with that Mickey van der Ven goal. So that's the Premier League as it stands. If you look down, I think as far as 12th, we could end up in the bottom half of the table come the end of Sunday if things go a little bit wrong. But hopefully we can get at least a draw. We'll go on to that in a minute. But yeah, if we look at the next one, so our head-to-head for this season alone, there we go. If we look at our last 5 form to start with. Arsenal points per game 2.36 with Tottenham 1.64. Last 5 games they've won 4 out of 5. We've won 2, drawn 2. Won 2, lost 2. So we've won 2 out of 4 games played. 11 games each. 5 wins for us. 8 to Arsenal. Our 3 draws to their 2 and 3 losses. That's what's killing us, isn't it? Those 3 losses. League position, Arsenal top of the league. Unfortunately, with Tottenham, we're sitting in 5th place. So points per game 1.64 for us to their 2.36. Average goals 2.27 to 2.64. That's per game. Average goals scored for Arsenal 1.82 to our 1.73. It's not a lot, is it? But the big difference there is their average goals conceded is 0.45. So they're conceding basically 1 every 2 games, which, you mean, you look at out over a season, you're conceding just under 20 goals for a whole season if they keep that kind of form up. That's championship winning form, isn't it? Unfortunately, with us, we're kind of on a different trajectory, really, aren't we? We want to be looking at getting in the top 4 if we can. But if we can sneak, realistically, top 6, something like that's going to be a massive improvement on last season. And hopefully, albeit we're out of the Carabao, if we can get a good European run, get to the knockouts of the Champions League, and potentially a decent FA Cup run. I think that's what we're kind of looking at, aren't we? So if we go on, if you want to come on, I'm just looking at the expected lineups there. If you want to come on and just have a chat about all things Tottenham, click on the link which you would have seen. It's a studio link. There's 2. There's one to watch on YouTube and one to join the studio. If you want to come on, we'll have a chat. I know there's a few that have said they wanted to come on today, so if you want to do that. The expected lineup for Tottenham for this weekend: Vicario in goal, Porro right back, Romero, Van der Ven centre half, Spence left side with Bentancur and Polinia centre halves, Xavi Simons playing off the left of 3 with Johnson right side, Kudus and Richarlison. That's the expected lineup. That's what's been put out in the media. I don't know whether that's going to be whether that is going to be our lineup or not, but we will see. We've got our Arsenal expected lineup, which now is probably a good time to bring in an Arsenal fan to have a little chat about this one. If we bring in Tony, how you doing?
Hello, mate. You all right?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you. You all right?
Yeah, yes. Thanks for having me on.
Good. No, thanks for coming on. We try to do this when we do a live show and we've got a game to preview. We'll bring in somebody who supports the other lot. So today we're previewing the Arsenal game on Sunday. Do you want to give your side of it? What if we just start with Arsenal? So what do you feel about your season so far?
Oh, well, first of all, I feel really welcome as an Arsenal fan on a Spurs channel. But Yeah, and to come on and gloat, I guess, because the season's probably been better than we could have expected. I think last time I spoke with you, we were chatting about the transfer business that Liverpool had done, thinking, oh, this is going to be a runaway season for them, and it's fallen apart. And so far, I think we've taken advantage of that.
Yeah.
I think the additions that Arsenal have made, in fairness, I think I've never known us have such a variety of options in every position
No.
and quality options to come back in. So yeah, it's been a good start, and they just got to capitalise on it from here, aren't they? I know it's really early days, 11 games in, but you feel, I'm sure everybody feels, and I'm sure it's probably painful for anyone on a Spurs channel to admit, but you would say Arsenal are the favourites, even 11 games in.
Yeah, I'd probably agree with you. I think it wasn't too long ago, was it? That we were talking about maybe the season being kind of done and dusted. I know there was a lot of talk on TalkSport and 5 Live and things like that, where fans were getting a little bit overconfident. But it's not too big a gap, really, is it? But we brought up the league table just now. If we just go back and bring it back up, you look at Arsenal top on 26, City 20 on 22 points in second. Hopefully, if we won on Sunday, which I can't see it happening, I think we've only won once at the Emirates in 15 years. And City beat Newcastle away. It's all ifs and buts, but that could be down to 1 point, couldn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And I think, you'd be an absolute fool to write off a team that's got Erling Haaland scoring. He's going to go on to score 40, 50 goals this season, undoubtedly, isn't he? I think anybody with Haaland in their side and Guardiola in the dugout, I think you've got to take that seriously, haven't you? There is, 11 games in. I don't think you can sit there and say the title's a done deal. Yeah, that side of things is probably a worry. I think, the others probably not so much. But I think if Haaland continues at this rate, they'll be there or thereabouts, won't they? Regardless.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you see as being key for Arsenal's kind of impressive start to the season so far? I touched on just now when I was kind of talking to myself. The kind of tight defence, is that kind of where it kind of starts? Do you think?
Yeah, well, I mean, you always give yourself a chance, don't you, if you keep a clean sheet. And there's been loads made, haven't there? Set piece FC and all the other bits and pieces you see online. But you see that. That is the foundation, isn't it? That's the foundation for success. You mentioned it earlier on, didn't you, about a title winning form. If you concede sort of 20 goals across a season that they're averaging at the moment, that is always a solid foundation. I think, to be honest with you, it's there's been a few times this season, the Newcastle game in particular up at St James's Park. I think everyone was saying start of the season, weren't they? Arsenal's opening is tough. Away at Old Trafford on the opening day, away at St James's Park, away at Anfield, obviously they lost with that Wonder free kick. But you think they've navigated some difficult games already. I think the key is going to be that business end of the season, in it, because I don't think City will be far off.
No.
And I think it's that, have they got the experience, the resilience to get over the line when it comes to the real crunch time?
Yeah.
Or do you have that capitulation come April when it's like, you know what it's like that time of the season. Well, you probably don't know what it's like, do you? You don't know what it's like, but
I've heard about it.
Yeah, that's right. That sort of April, March, April time when it's quarterfinal, semi-final, and all of a sudden, I've been there for years and years and years where Arsenal have had collapses and it's kind of all gone wrong, and you sort of think that's the time. And I think, albeit we've got a great squad, and there is cover in every position, I think there's certain players that you don't want to get injured throughout that season. Gabriel being one of them.
Is he definitely missing for Sunday then? I know
they reckon it could be months rather than.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the sort of latest. Could be up to a couple of months, depending on a scan and stuff next week. But it's definitely out for the weekend. And you think, that side of things is a massive. It's a massive blow. And whilst they've got that, the young lad Mosquera that's come in for Saliba, I think he's done a good job in the games that he's played. But it's that partnership, isn't it? And it's also what Gabriel gives you at set pieces.
He always seems to score, doesn't he? Especially against us. He does all right against us.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He scores a lot, doesn't he? And you think, actually, that's a loss at both ends of the pitch. It kind of breaks that partnership. And I think also he's just, you know, you see him, he's pumped up every game, and he's, you know, he puts in a crunching challenge, and he's geeing the crowd up, and he's, you know, it's more than just what he brings on the pitch. You know, it's that leadership and aggression and, you know, goal threat. I think that's a big loss. And I think if you lose those key players, don't get me wrong, they have got a great squad, but you know, even the likes of Odegaard, I think they struggled creatively in the last couple of games without Odegaard there. It's those key players you want to keep fit, especially at the crunch times.
Yeah, absolutely. So if we look at Arsenal's expected lineup for Sunday, is that going to be far off it? Do you think?
No, I don't think so.
Mourinho up top?
Don't know. There's still talk of Gyökeres being available, isn't there?
Right.
I'm not sure whether that is an Arteta keeping his cards close to his chest a little bit on that one.
Has he been injured?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been out for a few games. So you think Gyökeres, or, you know, if in his absence, is probably going to be Mourinho. I think Odegaard again has been out for several weeks, whether he starts or whether he comes on from the bench. You know, Zubamendi, Rice, Saliba, Timber, Calafiore, Raya are all nailed on, aren't they? Saka. So those are probably the only ones where you think, okay, I'm not sure on the injury front. You know, whether they look at Eze, Martinelli. You know, there's alternatives there, isn't there? But yeah, I reckon that's going to be there or thereabouts to the starting lineup.
Yeah, I think the thing is with international breaks, if the game was on a Saturday, you sometimes see players swapped out because of, you know, I mean, like, especially like the boys who've been to like Asia or South America and places like that. But just given that extra day's travel and recovery, I think you normally see pretty much the stronger side playing than you if they play Sunday or Monday.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, Jesus, it's a North London derby, isn't it? Like I could have been living in Antarctica for a month, and I'd still, you'd still want to play, wouldn't you?
Yeah, definitely. So if we look at the Tottenham expected line, I don't think that's going to be far off it, to be honest. Scared?
No.
You're not. Where do you see like the threats or the potential opportunities?
I look at Tottenham's team and I think, do you know what?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd take, you know, would any of those get an Arsenal starting 11? I think Van der Ven is good. I like Van der Ven, to be fair. You know, he gives a little bit of just something different, doesn't he? His goal the other week, his pace is phenomenal. But in terms of overall threat, you look at it and think, you know, and you kind of mentioned it with Roy earlier on, didn't you? That with the likes of Maddison out, with Kulusevski out, do they have that kind of like creative guile and ability to break teams down? I think that would be my, you know, impartial view on it. I'm not sort of being biased or disrespectful, but I wouldn't take Johnson over Saka.
No.
I wouldn't take Bentancur over Rice.
No.
Do you know what I mean? And so you sort of look at that side and you think, you know, sort of man for man, Arsenal have the better side. You know, on paper. But what is it they used to say on FIFA every time that game would bloody load up? The game's not played on paper, is it? Do you know what I mean? But I used to get sick of hearing that. But do you know what I mean? You look at it and think, there's nobody in that side you look at and go, they're a real threat. I mean, Richarlison can be a handful, can't he? He's physical.
Yeah.
You know, he pops up with goals occasionally. But there's no one there where you go, you'd pinpoint that as a real threat. But the thing I would say with Tottenham, to be fair, is certainly this season they've looked a lot more solid and they've looked a better team. You know, and so it's all well and good analysing clubs, isn't it, and going, do you know what, every one of their starting 11 is a better individual, but it's a team game, innit? And you know,
yeah, that's it. I think like you touched on like the players who potentially get in the Arsenal side, and there'd be very few, if any, at all. But maybe like even individually, you could make a case for Van der Ven. But I think with that partnership with Saliba and Gabriel, that's kind of stronger than two individuals, if you like. And that's kind of been the bedrock for Arsenal season, isn't it? Is having that consistency at the back with those partnerships. But I think our side is very. You mentioned kind of like Declan Rice and Saka and people like that, but they hit those consistent levels, don't they? Do you know what I mean? They know the system, they know the league inside out, and people like Bentancur and Johnson, like you used as an example, just do not hit those levels of consistency. We'll have 2 or 3 good games in 10, but to compete week in, week out, I think most Spurs fans, I don't think I'm speaking out of turn, would say that we need more from them, especially people like Richarlison. He'll have 5 good games, he'll score 4 goals, and you think, right, we've got the player that we thought we signed, and then all of a sudden you don't see him for 6 or 7 games, and he spends more time on his ass than he does on his feet. But and like Simmons as well, like much the same as Wirtz for Liverpool. It's you're kind of waiting for these kind of big money signings to get going and maybe just adjust to the league and that. But Simmons, like for me, the league and games just passing by at the minute. He's not showing for the ball. He's not brave enough without the ball, wanting it. He's not brave enough with the ball. For me, he just doesn't do enough. He looks a completely different player when he goes and plays for Holland. I think that's because he's just used to that environment. He's comfortable in that environment. But for some reason, at the minute, for Tottenham, to change the league, I just don't think he's kind of doing it. But what's your kind of prediction for Sunday then? Where are you sticking your money?
Oh, I'm feeling confident.
Yeah.
Which is probably bad news for you, isn't it? But I'm feeling confident. Do you know what? You look at those and you're absolutely right. I think you're absolutely right with what you say about Spurs. Like, Tottenham could go and beat Arsenal. They went and beat Manchester City.
Yeah,
they could go and do it. However, I think for Tottenham, every player's got to play well.
Yeah.
At the top of their game.
100%.
And that can happen. But it doesn't happen, as you said, consistently.
No.
I would say the only real consistent performer is Van der Ven in that side.
Yeah.
I think Romero is aggressive and on his day, as a partnership, probably as good as Saliba and Gabriel when they're playing at their top level. I think with Romero, though, if I was a Spurs fan, I'd be having a heart attack every time he goes in the penalty area. He's rash.
Yeah.
He's reckless. There's always... You think with Romero, he's one of those players and he's got that aggression where he plays on the edge.
Yeah.
But there's always that potential to tip over the edge and do something reckless, concede a penalty, get himself sent off.
Yeah.
That would be my worry, I think, with Romero. But, Tottenham can go and win. But I think, given their previous form, it's at, for us, it's at home.
Yeah.
I think personnel-wise, and I think what Arsenal have also got is that, we mentioned it earlier, the squad. That actually, I know we've got lots of injuries at the moment, but Saka's injured, and you've got Martinelli, you've got Eze that you can move out into different positions. You've got the young 15-year-old Max Dowman. You've got, do you know what I mean? There's Ethan Nwaneri that can come in and play in those positions. You've got difference in the centre midfield. You can bring Marino in. You can put him up front. You can move Rice. You can play Rice as a 6. You can play Rice as an 8. I think what's there for Arsenal as options. But I think the biggest thing really is that, and I know Arteta attracts a lot of criticism.
Yeah.
But I think you have to give Arsenal, not that you'd want to do that on this channel, obviously. I think you have to give Arsenal credit as a club for giving time.
Yeah.
Because, you mentioned with, I think it was Roy, wasn't it, earlier on? He's been there under about 58 different managers.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you think Arsenal since the mid-90s have had 3. Yeah. In terms of Wenger and Emery and then Arteta. So I think the club have given him a good length of time, which means, they've brought youth players through. Those youth players have been part of that process right through the youth system all the way into the club. The youth team's playing the same way. And I just think, like I said, I know you won't want to give credit, but I do think that the reason you get that consistency is because you've got consistency on the touchline.
Yeah.
You've got consistency through the youth squad. The players that come in are kind of been gradual additions. I know they bought quite a few players this year, but it's been a gradual addition. And I think that's where you get consistency, is that you've got, not just consistency on the field, but you've got consistency on the sidelines and throughout the entire club. And I think that's where it's led them to the point that they are. Because we've had some crap seasons over the last 20 years.
We've had a few as well. But so, do you think that the key is they've given him that consistency? They've backed him not just with time, but also with money. With that, obviously, comes pressure. So, is this season a season where they have to win the Premier League? after being finished second twice now.
It might even be 3 times.
3 times, is it?
I think. Yeah. I mean, what do you mean by have to? Do you mean for Arteta to continue?
Well, I mean, yeah, absolutely, because he's spent a lot of money this summer, hasn't he? So he's really
Yeah.
gone for it, and like they've probably got the strongest squad balance-wise that they've had for years.
Yeah.
I
don't think so.
No.
I don't think they would sack him. I think there's enough progression.
Yeah.
I think everybody wants that trophy, and I think that weight of expectation is heavy, isn't it? But I don't think that he would get sacked if he didn't deliver.
No.
But I think obviously everybody goes into every season wanting to win something. And you think, there's 4 trophies up for grabs. We can't all win something every season, and sometimes the best team doesn't always win. So I don't think it would be kind of make or break for him this season.
No.
But I guess the longer that it goes on, it's a little bit like a striker, in it, who hasn't hit the back of the net for a few games. The longer it goes on, the more it gets talked about.
Yeah.
The greater that weight of expectation becomes. But I think you have to stick with it because they're so close, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're so close.
Yeah. So what would represent a good finish then for Arsenal this season? Obviously, winning the league would be a good finish for you, but what do you think is realistic? Top 2? Anything outside of that is failures, or?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I think from the position they're in, and as we mentioned earlier, didn't we? There are only 11 games, but I think from the position that they're in, to finish outside the top 2 would be a big kind of capitulation and a fall apart.
Yeah,
and probably unacceptable with the squad that they've assembled and the money they've spent.
Yeah,
likewise, Champions League, you'd expect them, I think, to go deep in the Champions League.
Okay.
But
So would you say Liverpool are out of it now? 18 points, 8 points behind.
It's probably too big a gap to overcome, I reckon.
Yeah. Lost 5 games already out of 11.
Yeah, I mean, never say never, but there's some, it's really competitive, isn't it? And the margins are fine, and as Liverpool have shown, you can go on a run of 3 or 4 games, and all of a sudden the league table looks completely different. So I wouldn't rule them out with the players that they've bought, but I think that is a big ask, 8 points behind, and in the form that they're currently in. I mean, just looking at it on the table there, I'd never have expected to see that many red squares next to their name.
No, they kind of hit that patch, didn't they, when they just couldn't buy a win. But so on the same accounts, then, would you say Chelsea are 6 points, so 2 points closer? Do you think they're in with a shout, or would you be comfortable in? I
don't think they're. It's too early to rule anybody out, isn't it? At this stage of the season, but I think what the 11 games have shown us is consistency, isn't it? I know we sort of harp on about it, but that consistency is the key, isn't it? These squads performing at a consistent level, and you don't tend to get erratic performances from Arsenal, from Manchester City, from Liverpool last season.
No,
you get those odd eyebrow-raising games from Chelsea, from Liverpool this season, and I think that's probably the same with Man United and Spurs as well. You kind of raise your eyebrows and go, Tottenham have beaten Manchester City. I didn't see that one coming. And then the next week, not the next week, but you look at last weekend and think you were 2-1 up 92 minutes in. Yeah. And you come away with a point. Yeah. So it's that's where the differences are very, very small, I think. Yeah. Across the board, and that's why the consistency is so important, and that's what makes that difference, isn't it? That ability to see out games, ability to cut out the silly mistakes. And I think, Manchester City over several years have been a machine, haven't they? Yeah. A machine of kind of just grinding out results. Arsenal look to be kind of in that same vein at the moment, that they're just doing enough in games. I wouldn't say they've kind of hit their stride yet, but they're just doing enough in games to get the job done. And it's a long season. I think that's the key to it.
Yeah, it is a bit. Yeah. So just to finish up, Tony, what's your give us a score for Sunday?
Well,
be kind. Give us
a
goal.
I don't think it'll be a drop. Well, I don't think it'll be a drubbing, and it's not often that I kind of agree with things that Gary Neville say, and I think whichever side of the fence we sit on, do you know what I mean? The Arsenal Spurs divide. I think we probably all agree it's the game we look forward to most. And I think Gary Neville said it's now his favourite game of the season. It always has drama. It always has goals. And I'm probably going to put the curse on it, and it'll probably end 0-0 now. And you know, you won't just hate me for being an Arsenal fan, but you can hate me for cursing the game. But I think we'll see goals.
Yeah.
I'm going to go 3-1 Arsenal.
3-1.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm trying to think, trying not to let my heart overhead, but I don't. If I had to put everything I own on a result, I don't think you're going to be far off. To be honest, I would take a draw right now. A scrappy 0-0, a 5-5, whatever. I would take a point right now. I don't think on Sunday we'll go away and win. I would take a draw. And a good performance, which will give us something to take on. But I do fear the worst, and I do feel it pains me to say it, but I'm trying to be as honest as I can. If it was for as bad as our home form is, if we were playing at our place on Sunday, I would be more confident. Which sounds funny because our form at home and away, there's a complete contrast with the two. Where away from home, we're so strong at the minute. But I just do not fancy it at all. I would take a draw right now. But I'll say, if I had to stick a prediction on, I would say we'll lose 2-1. But I'll take a draw right now.
Well, we'll see what happens when we are. I'll message you either way.
I'm sure you will when we're.
Yeah, that's right. But it did make me. I have to say, it did make me laugh when I was watching your interview with Roy earlier on, and he said, "I think we can go there and get a result." And you went, "You think we'll win?" You looked so surprised, and he went, "I don't think we'll win. I meant to get a draw."
A result, yeah. When the referee blows the final whistle, there'll be a result.
yeah, exactly.
But now we'll see what happens. As long as football's still winning, that's the main thing.
Well, like I said, it's my favourite game of the year, but that's probably because we usually win it. But
yeah.
Plus the team I coach, as you know, I coach the girls team, and we seem to have an awful lot of Spurs fans on there.
Oh,
so yeah, I don't know why. I don't know. I can't understand what's wrong with them. But
we've got a right mixed bag in our lot. We've got like Leicester fans and Fulham fans and all sorts, and even they take this at me, which isn't good. So
they will be poised to give me grief if Arsenal don't win. So just club allegiance aside, just so I don't get battered by the kids at football training next Thursday, I've got to pray for an Arsenal win. And
well, fingers crossed you're trying to think of an excuse not to go training on Thursday. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'll call it off. Call it off. We're not training tonight. I'll forget about it by the following week.
Yeah, I'm sure. All right, thanks for coming on, Tony. Appreciate that.
No worries, mate.
Have a good weekend, but I hope you have a rubbish Sunday.
Likewise. Thanks. Thanks for having me, mate. I'll catch you soon.
Take care. All right.
Cheers. Bye.
Cheers. There we go. That was Tony. Thank you very much, Tony. Arsenal fan. I've known Tony for years, and really, really appreciate Tony coming on and giving us his honest thoughts. To be honest, I can't disagree with anything Tony says there. It's going to be a very, very difficult game on Sunday. I think we're all fully expecting that. I would take a draw right now. I think, like I said, and like Roy Reyland touched on earlier in the show, that he believes it could be a draw as well. So we'll go with that. So that's it. Thanks for watching this evening, guys. If you are watching on YouTube, like, subscribe, and all that kind of thing. We are on Facebook as well, so look us up when the cockerel crows. And I post all sorts on there during the week as well, mainly Spurs news and stuff. But keep an eye on this channel. There'll be like loads of little short videos and bits going up with various news and stuff. I'll also put a video up and maybe even go live Sunday if we get a positive result, whatever that looks like. But yeah, thanks very much for joining me on this Friday evening. We've had Roy Reyland on. We've reviewed the Man United game, looked at the international break, and we've also just spoken to Tony and previewed the Arsenal game on Sunday. Regardless of what happens, stick with the club through thick and thin like we always do. Get behind the team and come on, you Spurs.